Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at the Suzuya, one of my favorite light cruisers in the entire game. If you love 155 Mogami gameplay, this is just that, but way better. You get a reload booster, usable firing angles. The ship is crazy powerful at tier 9, and it has been unavailable for a very long time. I'm not a fan of the FOMO, not a fan of how Wargaming designates these things as rare and then never puts them out for sale ever again. But it's back, and a bunch of rare ships are too. So with this summer festival event, there will be 2 rounds, 3 rounds, something like that, of these different rare ships as bundles in the armory, which we will talk about more in the update video. But for now, Suzuya will be back for 21,800 doubloons. That is a lot, I know, but it's not an Admiral bundle, right? That is still just a direct purchase for doubloons. Unfortunately, tier 9 rare ships, they spend more than the uncommons. I don't like this new system for that reason. It seems very silly to me. But if you were wanting a Suzuya, this is a great opportunity to get it for doubloons of all things. Very nice that it's not just an Admiral bundle for regular cash for like $200 US or something like that. It's sad that that is the bar that I am happy that we are clearing, but that is where we are at right now. So, enough of that monetization. It's up to you whether or not it's worth it for yourself. But this ship is very, very fun. Check out this reload booster and this damage into the Conqueror. Yes, 15 guns here and a reload booster. So, you're getting a 50% cooldown reduction to your guns for 15 seconds. And we can get up to 4 of these reload boosters. With IFHE, that means we're also penning everywhere on this Conqueror. Something unique about these 155mm main guns, Mogami gets this as well, is that they pen 38 with IFHE. There's a Montana on the enemy team we might be saying hello to later. They are the same guns though, same DPM, but way better firing angles, okay? Suzuya has 35-degree forward and 37-degree rear firing angles, which is not bad. It's not amazing, but not bad. But 155 Mogami is 45-degree forward and 50-degree backwards firing angles. That's like GK level. That's worse than GK levels, to be honest with you. So very difficult to use Mogami. Suzuya's a lot easier to use and a lot stronger because of this reload booster. You can save it for burst into an enemy destroyer if one pops up. Absolutely incredible at that. You can also use it as just pure raw damage output when you need it. Vermonts are very scary, and we need to help our main as he is bowing. He's kind of caught bowing here, so we need to get as much damage as possible as the enemy team is, well, it's the classic. They've controlled 3/4 of the map, and we're about to get crossfired into oblivion. So we need to make something happen rather quick. The other option, of course, which I like to greed for, it's a mistake, but it's what I often do, is I wait until the enemy battleship damage controls a fire, and then I use my burst to try and guarantee the follow-ups. It's usually a mistake because I end up ending the match with many reload boosters available to me. That is then just damage I've left on the table, but I am kind of greedy like that. We should also consider that Suzuya versus Mogami does get better maneuverability too. So we have a 7.1 second base rudder versus a 9.3 on Mogami. So that's going to help it out quite a lot as well. It is a little bit worse on the detection side, but still very solid. In this one, I am running a lighthouse. We will talk about that when the build sections come up. I'll also swap over to a more standard build, don't you worry. It's still very good as that standard build, but I wanted to see the absolute peak of this ship and its damage potential. Unfortunately for Suzuya, it's a tier 9 ship, so we get that super ship up tier quite often these days. You will just simply explode if those battleships look at you, but if they don't, you do very, very respectable damage. That is the secret here, is you got to take this ship out. Otherwise, the damage output is absolutely incredible off of this one. Notably, we don't have any sub-surveillance. That is a unique feature of the Japanese cruiser line. We don't have that here, unfortunately, but I would gladly trade that for a main better reload booster. That is of questionable value, you know, sub-surveillance and whatever. We don't got to get into the sub and carrier rants, okay? Let's just talk about the surface ships, shall we? It has 4 heals as well, by the way. So with Superintendent, we're getting up to 5 heals. That is very, very useful. Whether or not you're going to survive a couple salvos from a battleship, all the overmatch, massive Citadel here, quite vulnerable, is questionable as well. But if you are taking a lot of chip damage, maybe it's cruiser fights you're taking, that sort of thing allows you to heal back quite a lot into the mid and the late game. These torpedoes, by the way, are better in some ways than the Mogami torps. They do a lot more damage, 21,000 alpha damage here pretty much versus Mogami's 17,000. They also are a little faster, 67 knots versus the 62 knots on Mogami. But you're only getting 4x3 instead of 4x4. So you get 12 torps total instead of the 16 on Mogami. And the reload is 180 seconds versus the 101 on Mogami. But 10 kilometers each. Very useful in kited positions, that sort of thing. And we have a little bit better firing angles towards the stern, though we do have to go very broadside if we want to fire them forward. So typically they are a kiting tool. A lot of gameplay with Suzuya is probably going to be like this, trying to find an island, having a friendly destroyer spot for you, and farming over it. Playing open water is very difficult. I must say I spawned on the 1-2-3 line on this map, and I instantly left, okay? I'm sorry, I know I try to tell you guys, play your flag, but there are some circumstances where it's not really viable. And I would say a super ship game where we're a tier 9 light cruiser, I think that makes a lot of sense, and we do a lot better into these islands here. Suzuya is very, very fun. I wish, oh man, that's part of the reason that I find Suzuya so fun, but a little sad to play sometimes is imagine we got a whole line of Suzuyas as the Yodo line instead of what we got with Yodo. I'm not a big fan of Yodo, to be honest with you. They don't feel that great. The DPM is very low. The shell velocity is much worse. I don't enjoy it quite as much. Suzuya 155 Mogami is what I wish that line would have been. So if you're interested in what a tier 9 would have looked like with this reload booster, this one is awesome. Now, I will say this was like my one great game that I had in my recording session. A lot of them were up tier blowouts. Unfortunately, that is what Suzuya has to deal with. But we got a very close match here and a great showcase. But let's go into some live games. I think with cruisers, sometimes that is a little more interesting to talk about the positioning, because you see one really amazing game on YouTube and think, wow, that's awesome. But that sort of situation never comes up for me. So I think it's a little bit more interesting if we take some live game examples with this one. And would you look at that right away? Welcome to live games instantly into the super ship game. Oh boy. And also the sub flank, more than likely, as there's a sub on our flank from our team. Usually they are mirrored. So what we're going to do is really just sit on an island. It is kind of boring gameplay, I know. It's not that flashy, but this is what you have to do into the up tier, unfortunately. Although, maybe fortunately as well. We shouldn't really be playing open water cruiser. Even into our own tier, you know, tier 9 battleships can still be pretty darn good. But we will snug up very closely to this island. And I might reverse a bit to try and shoot over this portion here. It is the main flank too. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Sometimes they don't spawn the super ships opposite each other. In this case, they certainly did. So when you're playing an island, really pay attention to what you're vulnerable to, okay? So number one is we're kind of broadside onto the main. Do we get spotted? No, we do not, fortunately. But we are open to getting spotted through this area right here. So we got to be very, very careful of that. Now we see a Des Moines pushing up. Our Hanover is kind of full sending it, I would say. So we want to take advantage of that by just farming, taking advantage of the distraction. But just playing principled cruiser positions like this, quite important. Slava kind of in a pre-kite, unfortunately. Makes sense, given the matchmaker and his skill set. We do full pen that main everywhere. Notice my concealment is 10.2. We have swapped over to the full conceal build. Still decent rudder here. I think this one's going to be a lot easier for most people to play. And I just realized we now have a Cyclone to deal with into Super Ship Matchmaker. So when I said that I was struggling with this ship for a lot of my play session, maybe this is what it looked like. A little bit. Not entirely, but a little bit. So good that we get to show that off as well. You should know that this ship is not just going to have the perfect games. Now, looks like main is reversing out of our range. So we want to go deal with the enemy ships that are in our range, while still maintaining our ability to play undetected. So we'll push a little further away the island to try and arc over this. We need to be aware that, you know, Venom's in his smoke, so he won't be spotting us. But if he's out of his smoke, we will get spotted. And then I bet the Slava and the main will both be shooting at us. So we might have to reverse and kind of duck into this island here. We shall see. Take it easy to start with. Take it easy to start with. Don't know how I have so much spotting to start with. 31k? I was sitting behind an island all day. That's kind of strange. I would not recommend range mod also, as a note on this ship, is the shells do get a little floaty out to maximum range. It's much better to try and reposition to get shots, in my opinion, than it is to try to send range mod on this ship. Des Moines is getting low, so we'll try and deal with him. We might think about swapping sides at this point. Marco Polo is kind of leaving. I suspect Maine is gonna maybe start to go like this. Slava's pretty far away. We have a fast ship here, so we can swap flanks if it comes to that. Very nice. So we do manage to help get the Des Moines down, and we got spotted briefly. Probably Benham in here, maybe, if I had to guess. But yeah, we're gonna swap flanks now. There's no point in chasing into spawn with this ship. And yeah, Benham was exactly where I thought so. So we're getting in range now of Chikuma and Vermont. We see the Maine is indeed making this play. Makes sense, makes sense. Chikuma goes down, all right. Good stuff, team, good stuff. Now we get a couple shots on Vermont. Maybe not, maybe not. Okay, silly me, silly me. But this is why I wanted to swap to the other side, right? Because Slava, 5 seconds ago, last seed, Marco Polo, Maine, right? Like, they're all leaving, so there's not much we would be able to accomplish on that side. Now, if you notice, the Cyclone is about to come through, and we have 4 reload boosters available to us. Maybe we should start using those, eh? What did I say? My weakness? I try to greed them out too much. Well, Maine is a pretty good target for us, although I think I'm going to drift into getting spotted here, so probably a good idea that we... Oh, didn't get much damage there. We do full pen him. Oh, my shells are going too high. I'm so used to the aiming system sending them low. There we go. There's the damage. A little bit. Up to 36 now. We're getting there. Yeah, my games can be like this too, guys, all right? It's not just the first match. It is not just the first match, okay? Those happen from time to time, but, you know, we need to get fortunate to have those sorts of closer games that last a long time. Oh, I could sneak through this too. Nice. A little bit at least. Yeah, 12 hits in a fire. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. Cyclone is still coming through. It does take a while for it to actually fully activate, so we can fire over this island with the Benham spotting us, I believe. That's who is in the A-cap. Maine is looking for us, but we're behind the island. Should also be behind the island from Vermont as well. Yes, we are. So we're okay for now. And now the Cyclone is starting to tick, so it's going to be pretty challenging for us to get any more impact here. Perhaps there is a way here if we get a little cheeky with it. Fire our front guns over. Yeah. Okay. And actually, he's not looking at us. Yet. And we're not... Oh, we are detected. Okay. Oh, boy. This could go badly. Reverse! Reverse, reverse, reverse! He's on Yamato. He's on Yamato. It's fine. Everything's fine. Although, he got our Yamato now. That's not as good. That's not as good. He shot those, so we can head out. And I guess we try and maybe catch one of the Tromps off guard by pushing. I don't know. Probably run into the Rhode Island here as well. But it's not looking so good for the team, unfortunately. But, you know, we're a lowly tier 9 here. We're a lowly tier 9 into a Cyclone super ship game. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference we could have done. That's, unfortunately, part of playing this ship and tier 9s in general. So you should know that before thinking about spending that 21,000 doubloons. I legitimately do very much like this ship a lot, but this sort of matchmaker is very challenging. And yes, there's the Rhode Island, who's not shooting at us. Wait, what? Okay. I'll take it. I will even try to greed my torpedoes to see if he turns in or not. I think that's worth to try. Spot the Tromp briefly. He's going to be loaded. He's going to be loaded. Please. Oh, we're so dead. I am not dead. Okay, broadside best side. Broadside best side, apparently. Those torps might actually... Wow, those torps might get him. And now I think I'm dead to the Oceano torps. We can split the gap, but now we're broadside. Yeah, there it goes. The torps, unfortunately, were not enough to kill him. Okay. We got ourselves up to 122 in this one. Not bad, not bad. We'll send some torps maybe for this Tromp to eat at the end of the game. I missed. Good dodge, sir. Good dodge. Yeah. Wait. What? Over here. Wait, weren't those spotted by the Rhode Island? I'll take it though, bro. I'll take it. 141 into this matchmaker. Cyclone super ship. I'm very happy with that. Wait, did I speak too soon? Wait, I thought this one was going to be over. Our top tier's clutched out, guys. Look at this. I think the Vermont's going to get the trump. He does. 993. And what happens here? All our Puerto Rico has to do is live for 9 seconds. Wow. Okay. I mean, they were at a massive advantage. That's not me. That is my team coming in clutch for us. Yeah, look at this. Vermont, Puerto Rico. Good job, guys. The other Puerto Rico as well, to be honest with you. Well done, well done. That was looking out of reach, but man, they clutched up for us. And now we finally get to face our own tier, so we're a lot stronger now. Can play a little more aggressive, that sort of thing. We gotta be careful still. Battleships will overmatch us and kill us, but isolating fights, maybe we can push up, be a little more aggressive in those destroyer engagements. So that's what I'm gonna try and do here. Maybe I'm not gonna go like that. I'm probably gonna head this way. That is my idea here. We got a Jaeger ZH1 heading for the A-cap here. I want to help on those because there's a lot of destroyers here, and that's what's going to determine the outcome of the battle. And we saw in the last game a little bit more of that passenger feeling as the bottom tier. That's usually how it goes when you're in a full up tier, 2 tiers higher than you. Even if it's not tier 9 to super ships, it's, you know, tier 8 to 10. It's, oh, we're spotted here already. Interesting. Okay, so he uses the battleship on this flank. We just saw him shoot. That's great. Interesting that we're spotted already. So destroyer in here, perhaps. We are full detect. ZH1 is going in, not our Jaeger at the moment. Nice, we get the fire. Little worried about shots from here. NC spotted, so it'd be Veneto or Colorado. So scan the horizon. Oh, Veneto, Sap. Sap can be okay. We're broadside onto it, but that's all right. So the idea here being that our ZH1 might spot one of the destroyers, and then we get really close with this cap, and that allows us to get some really nasty shots in. It looks like our ZH1 is just kind of spotted and dying, though. So not ideal. Not ideal in that regard. Am I able to farm a little bit from here on this Soyuz? Let's see. I can, nice. So we can kind of poke our nose around this island and remain undetected. That's great. Unfortunate to lose our DD there. You know, you saw the idea though, the vision of pushing up here a little bit and trying to get in position where we can help the destroyer if that engagement materializes. It did not, so we are not able to have that impact. That's okay. We still have a Jaeger over here, so it's not all lost. Notice how the NC and Fume are kind of behind me on this angle. ZH1 was also kind of on this angle, and there was a smoke over here. I would expect torps coming through here. That's why we're on the Hydra right now. I'm sure he's just gonna kite away. That's fine. So what I'm gonna do is turn my turrets around and maybe try and help over into the B cap, something like that. I don't think we're gonna get too much spotting from our Jaeger in like a destroyer engagement or something like that. At least that's not what it seems like for now. Perhaps I'm wrong though. He actually spotted the Cossack there. Though with Cossack in his smoke, I do think I'm gonna turn away here a little bit. It'd be good to go on the New Orleans as he's in a pretty bad position. But I think we will start to farm this Veneto now. Notice how the Soyuz is behind this island from us. So we're kind of isolating this fight on the Veneto. I know it's got some guns that will overmatch us, but I think we're okay. The sap can hurt a lot as well. Yeah, the sap can hurt a lot as well. Our torps are still on cooldown because that is one of the features of this ship. I should be using my reload booster as well. Let's not make those same mistakes. Let's see, did the slowdown get him? A little bit, yep. We got the heals, right? Sap damage we can heal back much more so than the Citadel damage. All right, there's our booster through. The thing about Veneto and the Italian battleships, they have some of the best armor in the game for their tier, so they are very difficult for us to actually deal reliable damage to. So we'll angle to him, He'll pop out from this island soon. Maybe we'll look for Soyuz. Maybe Cossack is starting to get aggressive, and we might happen to get a spot from the Jaeger as the Jaeger is turned back in. When you don't have a radar as this DPM cruiser, you really need to be paying attention to what your DDs are doing and when they may or may not be getting into an engagement, like so. Unfortunately, it's behind this island from us right now, but we can pop out and help. He's going to slow down in his smoke. Unfortunate that I did use my booster. Otherwise, it'd be really nice to get another shot in. Good hit, though, from that last turret. But that's what we need, right? That's what we need to be doing, is looking out for that engagement to help our Jaeger. Otherwise, he's going to lose, right? Like, Cossack just out DPMs him. Cossack has a lot of close range support in this Soyuz right now. And Veneto as well, pushing up. So it's up to us to really help keep our destroyer alive, and in turn, he can help us by spotting, right? This is what I like about the surface ship gameplay arrangement, is there's a lot of synergy, there's a lot of helping your teammates to win on a flank. Your ship isn't going to do everything on its own, but with team support, we can do a lot. Now, our reload booster is about to come back up. Am I going to use it? No, I am not, because I do think that Cossack engagement is closer at hand. And it's much more important we do that than get a little bit more damage on this Soyuz, for example. We're going to try and aim for his bow, as that doesn't have a fire yet, as well as... I think we can full pen it. Yeah, there we go. We get the fire. Great. That can be a weakness, of course, of when you're using IFHE, get less fires. But I do think IFHE is still worth using on this ship. All right, Soyuz is cutting the angle now. Very smart. You see how I'm just always trying to use the edge of these islands to make sure the battleship can't shoot at me, but I can get a few shots off at him. See how our Jaeger's turning back in right now? So we could be seeing that fight coming soon. Let's use our Hydro here. Looks like Soyuz is going through the gap here the other way, so perhaps we could send some torps for him. Is he going to ground? Doesn't look like it. So let's send some torps here and here. Perhaps we will be using also the other side torpedoes. But again, trying to isolate the fights. In this case, we just really have to keep the Soyuz on the other side of this island. Aha, hello. This guy's got to go down for this flank to do well. This is what we saved the booster for. Unfortunate, bad salvo to start. We can blind him. Nice, we get the depth strike. Huge, huge, huge play. Veneto's in his smoke. He's actually going to turn broadside onto us, so I'm going to dabble with some AP, because we don't actually pen him that well. Let's dabble with some upper belt AP pens. Notice the Soyuz dodging all our torps, unfortunately. Yeah, we get a decent hit there, actually. Ooh, the sap hurts. Okay, we're fine for now. We'll send the other side torps for the Soyuz, and then we'll angle back. I think he's going to turn in, so that's what we'll aim for. We got to angle back, though. Maybe we can get the last second fire on the Veneto here. Although he got a smoke, unfortunately. So that is a bit of a challenge. Fume goes down. Okay, that's not great. Now we got to really watch. Yeah. And overmatch. Yeah, there's that overmatch. But I think those torps might catch up to him. We'll see. We really need them to. Oof, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, that's that open water struggle. And then the Hampshire gets us. Well done. And we get the Soyuz, though, right? Yes, sir. So, a pretty well-played flank on a game that didn't go our team's way. But that's what we're always looking for as a cruiser, okay? We're looking to help the destroyers. We're looking to farm the battleships as they push in. But we're not looking to initiate all the engagements instantly. If you try to initiate every engagement like the New Orleans did on the enemy team, right? If you try that early, like you're just gonna lose your ship, even if you're in one of the more powerful cruisers, okay? But cruiser play is really rewarding when you get this balancing act down. It's really fun. All right, great. And for our last game, we're going to have a bit more normal match. Some tier 10s, some tier 9s. Unfortunately, the sub, I say normal, but we don't have a DD and they have a DD, so something weird's going on with the matchmaker. But regardless, this is more standard, I think. Not the tier 9 up tiers, but also not the like beating up on tier 7s all the time. Tier 9s, tier 10s is pretty common, as tier 10 is like the most played tier, right? So we could try to play this island, and sometimes that's really fun to do if you can get there as the cruiser. but I think I'll play it a little safer to start. Let's use these islands here. Try and look for the shots of the enemy maybe pushing up to that island. We'd have a Bourgogne and a Schlieffen pushing seemingly quite aggressively. So if they're spotting for us, I don't expect the sub to spot for us, by the way. If they're spotting for us, we could get some damage in. But taking a very basic position early like this can set you up for a pretty solid game, or at least, at the very least, make sure you're not dead in the first 30 seconds. So that's what we're gonna do. Sure enough, they are pushing here. So we'll get a little bit of damage in onto the Mogami here. He tried for that island, and maybe we'll see what happens if you get caught on your way there. If our battleships get the salvos in, we shall see. But we can get some damage in ourselves. It's pretty awkward getting spotted there. Now, here's the thing. Wisconsin just got spotted. Always be looking at that minimap. So Wisconsin spawned out here somewhere. We spawned 2 battleships here. So there's probably another one. But Wisconsin is leaving. So that means they have way less support out here than we do. And different angles. Worse angles, I would say. So that leads me to want to get a little bit more aggressive again. Now that we have the information. When you don't have the information, play a little more passive. But once you have the information... we also know that it's Freddy and Scarlet Thunder and GK. It could be the Rhode Island. Rhode Island is pretty scary. But I'm considering actually pushing into the Thunderdome here. And yeah, it is the Rhode Island. See how you can learn a lot just by looking at the minimap. You don't necessarily have to have the direct intel of having that Rhode Island out there. Now, he's pretty far away. We also, crucially, have pretty good conceal right now, thanks to running full conceal build. Sometimes the conceal build is a little bit less good, in my opinion, because we can't get as much rudder shift, we can't dodge as much, right? At the end of last game, that might have been helpful, but if you're not running the full conceal build, you're probably not able to make this play, right? And this is a pretty fun one. So we shall see what comes of it, but if they want to dig us out of this area, they are going to have to walk around a corner, which is very nice for our torp angles, right? So once we get in here, we'll have to maybe watch Nevsky pushing up, but I don't think he's going to go. We got plenty kind of covering this area as a team. So now our Moskva, Bourgogne kind of control the flank, and we should be able to get some nice damage in here. Very good stuff. We'll have to watch cross shots over some of these islands, right? Like, this is not like perfect cover for us. This is a situation where enemy battleships can lob over these islands if we do happen to get spotted, of course. But that also means we have opportunities to lob over these islands ourselves, and typically without getting detected. So, broadside light cruiser. Let's give our AP a go at this angle. Let's also... we get spotted here, unfortunately. Oh, didn't get it. Too bad. Wonder if that's the submarine. Wisconsin doesn't have the angle yet. He will be. Rhode Island back there. Yeah, this is a little spooky. Okay, looks like the sub went underwater. That's very good for us. Let's snuggle up to the island a little bit more here. I think is going to be quite important here. Broadside Wisconsin. I am going to boost this with AP. Upper belt pens. We can get some big damage hits here. 5k, not bad. Ichi might actually do more, unironically. 5k again, because it also gives us the chance at the fires. If we get spotted here, it's going to be bad time. But we're not getting spotted, so it's fine. All right, back to the Ichi. Nice, we got the Wisconsin. Rhode Island pushing up. Okay, that's a little spooky. That's a little spooky. Now, notice how our team is kind of vacated here and here. So Nevsky actually has the opportunity to push in on us. That is kind of worrying. Let's hydro to make sure we know where he's at. Get our torps ready. And then we're going to torp and then angle in. I've also swapped the armor piercing just in case he walks around the corner broadside. But he's not. Okay. So he has decided to back off for now. That's good. So that should allow us to maybe farm the Rhode Island as he's pushing in. We'll have to keep an eye on that Nevsky and if he decides to push, though. But for now, I think we're okay. The only thing we're at risk for is like getting lobbed from the other side of the map, which I don't think is going to happen. Rhode Island could also take a look at us as well. This hydro being what's spotting us right now. I think we're okay. Although he can turn his guns pretty quickly. Nevsky is still reversing. All right. Not reload boost just yet. I would like to, though. Would be nice. We're getting an airstrike on us. It's fine. I want to take this Rhode Island out if possible. He's going to look for us. And he's dark, but I think he's just going to be grounded there. This is going to hurt. We might be dead. Oh, the shells go low, bug, on islands. Whenever you're like kind of grounded on an island like this, it feels like shells just happen to go low. It's silly, but that's what saved us there. All right, the team is kind of picking up some kills on the other side. The Hydro is out. Okay. That has improved pen angles, though. Yep. Okay. It hurts. Is what it is, though. Unfortunately, our team is kind of abandoned and also abandoned. So, wow, that's so much damage from an airstrike. Oh, wow, that's really, really bad for us. Oh, no. There's the radar. I was worried about that. That's why I backed off as well. Now we have a big giant island between ourselves and the Rhode Island, so he won't be able to get shots in on us. I'm wondering if the Kuhorn is maybe gonna push this. It's fine. Nice, we go undetected. Yeah, we're in trouble though. Kuhorn's not pushing it, that's fine. All right, San Diego is angling to us, so that means HE. I wanted the AP chance. I'm trying to play as close as possible to this island so the Rhode Island can't shoot me, but I'm not sure if that's gonna work or not. Check our reload, by the way. It's absolutely ridiculous. For the power of these guns. I am gonna be kind of greedy and hold our booster. Maybe this is a bad idea, but I'm kind of wanting to wait for it to use it on when the Nevsky or the Kuhorn pushes around the corner on us. Wow, another 13k. Those airstrikes are very, 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 very frustrating. We could rant about them, but I think we'll save that. We'll just call them a bad game design. A poorly designed mechanic in this video game. All right, we managed to get the San Diego done. Are they going to push us? I mean, they should be, right? I mean, it's very, very, very nice that our team managed to get the Rhode Island here. Kuhorn is turning in, unfortunately. I don't think we're going to get the AP slaps. Could try one, though. And then swap to the HE. Get our heal. Oh, he's going more broadside. Okay, never mind. We're good. We're good, we're good, we're good. Okay, he's gonna whiff that one. Freddy has potential overmatch. Okay, we're technically alive still. Technically, we're alive still. The problem here, though, is that they win in 1 minute. So I need to get into this cap and stall it. However, we're gonna die if we do that. I think I can sit here for a second, get my heal, and then maybe if this Nevsky turns flat broadside, we could get him. Yeah, that Freddy's a problem. I need our Bourgogne to basically kill this Nevsky for me. And then I can get across to the other side and maybe farm these guys as they push in. Yeah, unfortunately, there's the radar. So I think that means I have to just push. I think. Ooh, and our Moskva goes down. That's quite bad. That's quite bad. I just have to risk it. Okay, he's dead. Freddy, don't kill me, please. Please, sir. Let me pass. Let me pass. Oh, island, save me. Yes. Okay, we're alive. Barely, but we are alive. Now, who's in the cap with us? Something is in the cap here with us. Is that Omogami down here, or is that like a Napoli right here for us? It's an Oster right here. I forgot there's even a destroyer. Okay, this is gonna be an absolute massacre for this poor guy. I shouldn't have even boosted that. I needed to kill him before the torps, though. Yeah, I should have waited on the booster for the Napoli here. Oh, never mind. He's dead. Wait. Wait a second. Everyone, wait a second. We got to get in the cap, though, still. That's a Kraken. I think, unfortunately, we lose, because I have to reverse into this cap. Our DPM is nasty, though. I gotta hope for just the overpen troll, and Freddy just does 0 somehow. I have to hope for it. Oh! Ain't no way. Oh, got me, though. Yeah, okay. Close. Close one. We nearly pulled that back. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. All right. Borgone gets the Freddy. And now he's got a Mogami to deal with down here. And we don't know where the Scarlet Thunder is. He was last seen 3 minutes and 50 seconds ago. Wow. Mogami lives that. Okay. That is unfortunate. That would have been a very nice kill to get. He's gonna blind fire, okay. Not quite. Borgone just has to stay in the cap, though. The Scarlet Thunder did shoot him from, like, back here. So Scarlet Thunder's, like, back here somewhere. Oh. Oh, no. Wait, the Borgone doesn't know the mechanic. Oh, we lose. Oh, okay. I mean, we were probably gonna lose that one anyway, but man, what a close one. That was fun. That was really, really fun. With, if you guys don't know, with Arms Race, the center cap there, it ticks so fast, right? Like, you have to stay in it. Which he might have been able to cap it out, actually, with the Mogami going behind that island and Scarlet Thunder kind of being on the 2-line area. He might have been able to cap it, and then the points swing in our favor, but oh well. We got a Kraken, Yamamoto Kraken with Suzuya, though. That is a rarity, I will say. So, pretty fun to see that. And I mean, that's why I also 2K base on a loss. Wow. It's also why I had to reverse in, by the way, is because they win so quickly on that cap ticking. So played pretty passive to start with, made a little risky play that paid off with our concealment advantage that we had with this build, and that got me into a very strong position where we could try and make a comeback happen from. Not sure that would have happened with the Lighthouse. Perhaps other things would have happened to change our playstyle with the full Lighthouse build. But regardless, Suzuya is very, very, very good. This tier 9 cruiser is so much fun to play. Here's the build I was using in this portion of the video. What I swapped to was I swapped out of concealment and I went for heavy HE and sap shells. Then I believe I went last stand, something like that. And then on the ship build, the upgrades, we go steering gears. And just like that, then we get the full Lighthouse build, which was what I was playing before. This gets us down to a 4.3 second reload. You know, you could play half of it, so then you get like destroyer level rudder shift, which is really fun to play around with, and you still get 11.3 detect when you're running this commander here. Maybe that's the way to go with it. Sounds like a pretty fun build overall. But 5 heals, questionable value with how much this gets overmatched, but it's very nice. But most importantly, you get 4 reload boosters, which are extremely powerful on these kind of guns. But yeah, here's our armor. We get a little bit of 30 plating, but notice the deck armor is all 27, bow stern 25, upper belt 27. Just a tiny little 30 mil here. Not really all that useful in my opinion. So Suzuya, very squishy light cruiser. You gotta avoid getting shot at pretty much at all costs, but if you can, the DPM here is kind of wild. 21,800 doubloons. I am very happy to see these rare ships coming back. I've been very critical of Wargaming and their monetization methods, their loot box gambling methods, which I still hate. I can't believe dockyard ships are the best event, and then they come back for the absolute worst event where it's $2,000 of gambling. Maybe we could fix that one. But seeing these rare ships, which have traditionally been FOMO, Admiral bundles only, if that, or Wishing Wharfs, that kind of thing, where it's also gambling, but for $300 to $500, something like that. It's nice to see them return in an event where you can buy them outright directly for doubloons, not even real, like just real money, but you can use doubloons, an in-game resource that you can grind and earn different ways. Like if you got Cambridge recently, this update, or rather last update, depending on when you're watching this, that would have netted you like 11,000 doubloons if you already had Cambridge, right? There are ways of getting doubloons. And so this is also not an Admiral bundle, right? It's not inflated. So 21,000 doubloons can be a lot, but also it's much better than what we've seen. So that's why I'm happy about this and excited to take a look at these rare ships again in that context. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching and have a great rest of your day.